So in this example, whenever you solved it on your homework, hopefully it looks familiar, maybe number 6 from your practice. So we've got the square root of negative 3x minus 5 is equal to x plus 3. So radical's already isolated, so you want to get rid of the square root by squaring both sides. Okay, when you do that, you have negative 3x minus 5 is equal to, okay, well, I've got to write this out twice. So x plus 3 and x plus 3. I've got to expand it out using full or the box. When you do, you get x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then now you have a quadratic that you have to solve. So you want to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to add the 3x and I'm going to add the 5 to the other side. And when I do, I get 0 is equal to x squared plus 9x plus 14. So, need to solve it. Going to solve it by factoring. So x plus 7 is a factor and x plus 2 is a factor, leaving me with a solution of x is equal to negative 7 and x is equal to negative 2. Well, when you went back and you plugged in, hopefully you saw that negative 7 did not work. Negative 7 is extraneous. Well, take a look at the picture and see why. So notice whenever you graph these two functions, this line and this square root function meet at the point negative 2, 1. So that is why only negative 2 works. Only negative 2 is a solution. So they share a negative 2 for an x value. So again, the line and the square root just cross at one place. Okay, so the last example. This was, I think it was number 8 from your homework. And chances are you probably run into some problems with number 8. Well, let's start with the graph and why you had some problems. If you look at the picture here, you've got this first function which has shifted to the right too, and then the second function, that negative, has caused it to reflect over the x-axis. And then we also went to the right 6. Well, take a look. The square root functions never touch, they never meet. So when I try to solve this, there's no way I can solve it because we have no solution. Now, of course, I didn't expect you to know that, but I wanted you to see that you were going to run into some problems. So let's go ahead and solve it by hand so we can see why. So there's no way I can isolate that radical because if I divide both sides by negative, I'm just going to move it over here. So I'm going to start by going ahead and squaring both sides to get rid of it. So when I do that, it's going on this side, leaving me with x minus 2. And I'm going to expand this out just so you can see the steps involved here. So I have a negative, the square root of x minus 6, times the negative square root of x minus 6. Okay, I'm going to use my commutative property. Negative 1 times negative 1 times the square root of x minus 6 times the square root of x minus 6. Well, negative 1 and negative 1 give me positive 1. And because I have the same root, I can write them under the same radical. So that becomes x minus 6 quantity squared. And hey, because it's the same thing under the radical, your radical's now gone, leaving me with x minus 6 on one side and x minus 2 on the other side. And so when I go to get x by itself, if I move this x over here, or if I move this x over here, they wind up canceling each other out, leaving me with negative 2 is equal to negative 6. And we know that that is not true. That's a false statement. And anytime you get a false statement, it's going to be no solution. So There's two ways you can solve a square root function or solve radical equations. And the one way is to solve them by hand, which is going to be important because, hey, Miss Green in the future might ask for the extraneous solution. The only way you can find the extraneous solution is to solve by hand. But the second approach is to graph them and find the intersection. So I might give you a few more problems to practice just to go along with this, a few more solving, and to see how you do, okay? I'm probably going to make it a school note assessment just so that I can get feedback and you can get instant feedback. And then on Monday, you're going to have a task activity to do that's going to tie everything together. Remember, guys, doing daily video chats, so just keep in mind, if you need to reach out to me, let me know. Also, guys, you can send me an email, and if that time that I have available is not going to work, just send me an email and we can set up a different time. Hope things are going well. See you soon.